Scientists are scrambling to get a handle on what's going on.
So let me get this straight. You're going to suck the blood out of my head?
Haven't lost anybody yet, okay? Why don't you come sit up here, Steve?
Dr. Levine and his team have created something called a gravity box in the hopes of providing some much-needed answers.
Okay, watch your shins.
Popular science magazine's own Steve Belanger has volunteered to take part in his study.
At what point do you saw me in half?
That comes shortly.
Using an old vacuum cleaner, this odd-looking but effective contraption will simulate increased gravitational pull on Steve's body.
So let me get this straight. You're going to suck the blood out of my head?
We are out of your head into your feet. Don't worry. Now you need to adjust that now because all the G-forces are going to be centered right there at the harness.
All the G-forces we've talked about are going to be in this region?
Yes, right there. We'll turn on the vacuum cleaner and you'll feel yourself be pulled down into the box.
But what Dr. Levine is investigating is what happens when you expose the body to increased G-forces for a prolonged period of time.
And then every 3 minutes, we'll make it harder and harder. It's sort of like being on a treadmill stress test.
Okay.
It's a gravitational stress test for the heart.
Steve Belanger has now been in the gravity box for 6 minutes.
Your heart's been sucked down into your chest.
Like how many inches?
Well, 2 to 3 inches so far.
When G-forces rise, the body has automatic responses to try to counter them. Coughing, tensing up muscles, or screaming like we do at the amusement park helps squeeze the blood back up to the brain. If the G-forces come and go within a few seconds, these natural defense mechanisms will protect you. It's when those forces are prolonged that the body begins to struggle.
How about now? A little bit of nausea, lightheadedness?
Everything's kind of coming at once.
Let's go ahead and release.
Not a moment too soon. As soon as the suction in the gravity box is released, Steve's blood rushes back into his upper extremities, seeking equilibrium.
You can see the blood pressure starting to crash and the pulse starting to crash. So he really, literally only had about 15 or 20 seconds before he would have lost consciousness.
Fortunately, Steve's consciousness returns, along with his sense of humor.
You guys want to try and stick some swords in me first, see how that works?
The things cycle, so the pulse goes up and down, the blood pressure goes up and down.
There's an ebb and flow to it.
There is an ebb and flow, even into the blood flow to the brain. You're, it's probably 1.5 Gs, maybe not much more than that.
And that would kill any normal man.
Well, that's right. Anybody less strong and vigorous as you.
Thank you.
But the point is, because you're lying quiet, here's your brain blood flow. At baseline, less than half.
See, now, I never felt any different.
Until the very end, that's right. You didn't.
Brain.
Because you've got a lot of reserve. So the lowest blood pressure we got was 64/48, and the pulse has started to go down, and that's the body giving up.
So that the heart basically says, I can't compensate for this, I'm going to shut down and save my losses.
That's right. That's why fainting is a life-saving reflex. Your pulse is a little slower, but your blood pressure is back to normal. Blood flow to the brain is back to normal. Everything's back to where it was.
Oh, I was also relieved that you didn't suck all the blood out of my head forever.
Yeah.
Wrapping up in Dallas, I'm Steve Belanger, and I've just had my organs reduced about 4 inches in my chest cavity. Spent about 20 minutes in a very painful harness up against my groin, and been brought to the point of fainting under G-force pressures by the good doctors here in Dallas. Overall, not a bad way to start your weekend.